Russian President Vladimir Putin has intensified rhetoric against Western nations, accusing them of imposing illegal one-sided restrictions to maintain global dominance, while claiming Russia has successfully navigated sanctions through sovereign economic policies. During a press conference in Moscow, Putin highlighted expanded partnership with China and India as evidence of Russia's economic resilience, stating the country has coped with external pressure. His remark came ahead of high-level talks with U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, where Putin sharply criticized European nations for allegedly sabotaging U.S.-led peace efforts to end the Ukraine war. Putin asserted European governments were on the side of the war and had inserted absolutely unacceptable demands into peace proposals, claiming these moves were designed to block negotiations and shift blame onto Russia. The Russian leader reiterated that Moscow has no plans to attack Europe, but warned that if confrontation occurs, Russia would be ready right away, with the conflict expected to be very brief. This warning followed reports of 2 Russian oil tankers being struck by Ukrainian Sea baby drones near Turkey's Black Sea coast, which Turkey condemned as a worrying escalation, threatening its exclusive economic zone. Putin later accused Ukraine of outright piracy regarding the tanker attacks, claiming Russia's past retaliatory operations targeting military supply vessels were far more effective, and outlined a 3-tier escalation plan if Kyiv continues such actions. The Kremlin released footage of Putin visiting a frontline command post in military uniform, where he praised Russian forces for advancing on virtually all fronts and declared the full capture of Pokrovsk, a key eastern Ukrainian city Moscow calls Krasnoarmysk. Putin stated his troop had liberated the strategic logistic hub, which Ukrainian officials denied, reporting continued fighting in the northern part of the city. Russian forces claimed to have encircled 1,500 to 2,000 Ukrainian soldiers in the northern pockets, with Moscow releasing videos of troops raising the Russian flag in the city center. Ukrainian military sources dispute the narrative, acknowledging heavy fighting but rejecting claims of complete Russian controls. While independent mapping data indicate Russia has captured over 200 square kilometers in the area, this territorial claim coincided with Russia Federal Security Service announcing it had thwarted a Ukrainian assassination plot targeting a senior defense ministry officer in Crimea, resulting in 1 Ukrainian agent's death and the detention of a local accomplice. The FSB alleged Western-made components were used in the operation linking to broader Ukrainian sabotage efforts in Russian-held territories. Ukraine's military reported a significant escalation in long-range strikes as Russia launched over 60 attack drones targeting civilian infrastructure and energy facilities across Ukrainian cities. He responded with drone attacks on Russian fuel and energy sites, marking a new phase in the ongoing aerial warfare. President Volodymyr Zelensky claimed Ukrainian forces had nearly cleared Kupiansk of Russian troops and dismissed Moscow's Pokrovsk capture claims as part of an information game ahead of U.S.-Russia talks. He emphasized that security guarantees, territorial questions, and reconstruction remain unresolved, while Ukrainian officials reported Russia's November offensive included 5,660 missiles and long-range drones. Zelensky warned of physical and psychological pressure on civilians to break Ukrainian resilience, with AFP reporting blackouts across major cities due to Russian attacks on power grids. The White House expressed optimism about Trump's peace initiative, with Special Envoy Witkoff en route to Moscow for shuttle diplomacy, though Zelensky stressed no agreement could be made without Ukrainians' consent. Russian military campaign intensified around Kuliapol, where Vostok group units use Uragan multiple launch rockets to disperse surrender leaflets over Ukrainian positions, urging troops to lay down arms as the Russian force advance. Ukrainian officials acknowledged heavy fighting and local withdrawal, but denied imminent encirclement, stating reinforcements were deployed to stabilize the front. The Kremlin claimed over 23,000 Ukrainian casualties and 46% troops losses in Wolshank's battle, while Russia's center group of forces reported the full liberation of Krasnoarmysk, stealing Ukrainian units inside the northern pocket. Putin personally confirmed the city's capture, praising troops for delivering a breakthrough that would accelerate Russia's war objectives. Meanwhile, Ukrainian soldiers near the Eastern Front voiced strong opposition to proposed peace terms, stating Russia only understands the language of force and warning any truce would pave the way for another war. Captured Ukrainian POW Alexei Sinapolsky described dire conditions near Krasnoarmysk, including elderly and disabled conscripts, scarce food, and wounded soldiers with no evacuations. As diplomatic efforts accelerate, Ukrainian President Zelensky delivered a speech in Ireland emphasizing European unity and defense of core EU values, while NATO foreign ministers expressed growing concerns over US-Russia peace talks, excluding many NATO allies. Poland, Germany, and Baltic states feared the emerging US-Russia plan could pressure Ukraine into territorial concessions. The meeting between Putin and US envoys on December 2nd occurred as Russia pushed battlefield advances, with Moscow claiming control of Pokrovsk and Volshansk just ahead of major peace discussion. Kyiv disputed these claims, stating fighting continued and warning Russia's announcements aimed to influence Western negotiators. The Kremlin's timing of the territorial announcement, coinciding with US shuttle diplomacy, raised concerns about Moscow seeking to leverage military gains to shape the peace process. Zelensky reiterated Ukraine's demand for clear security guarantees to prevent another invasion, stressing any peace move must deliver concrete results, not prolonged dialogue. As casualties rise, the situation remains volatile as Russia consolidates gains and Ukraine's leadership face mounting pressure to respond to both battlefield realities and diplomatic developments. If you have made it this far, congratulations. You have unlocked the truth. I want to ask you a quick question though. With Russia claiming control of Pokrovsk while Ukraine denies the loss, how might these conflicting battlefield narratives affect the upcoming US-Russia peace negotiations? Will Moscow military gains pressure Kyiv into concessions, or will Ukraine's insistence on security guarantees prevent a deal that risks future aggression? And why? Join the debate. We want to hear your insightful opinion on where this is all heading in our community. Share your thoughts in the comments below. I appreciate your support. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Like the video, share this video with friends and family, hit the notification bell, and most importantly, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.